Good afternoon. The court calls State of Michigan versus Syed Muhammad Zaid Alvi, ALVI, case number 2501713, excuse me, FY. Mr. Alvi appears before the 55th Judicial District Court for Ingham County via video conference from the Ingham County Jail for a felony arraignment. I will note for the record that I have confirmed all of this, what we refer to in our parlance as PPII information off the record with Attorney Faber. And with that, Mr. Faber, could we get your appearance, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Jerry Faber, P67547, appearing via Zoom on behalf of Syed Alvi.
Thank you. Mr. Alvi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Our court has before it a multi-count felony criminal complaint against you. That complaint alleges on or about October 22 of 2025 at a location described as 4075 West Holt Road, specifically Lot 204, City of Holt, County of Ingham, State of Michigan. Allegations are the defendant did, contrary to law in count one, did attempt, prepare, or conspire to arrange for, produce, make, copy, reproduce, or finance any child sexually abusive activity. This is a Tier 2 offense under the Sex Offender Registration Act. It is a felony offense that is punishable by up to 20 years in prison and or $100,000 fine. Count 2 alleges on the same date and at the same venue that the defendant did use the internet to communicate with Mackenzie Rose for the purpose of committing child sexually abusive activity, where the victim or intended victim, Mackenzie Rose, was believed by the defendant to be a minor. This is also a felony punishable by up to 20 years in prison and or $20,000 fine. Also, reimbursement of government for expenses incurred in relation to the violation in the manner indicated by state law. Also, a consecutive sentence may be imposed for a conviction on the underlying offense. Count 3 alleges at the same venue on the same date that the defendant did use the internet to communicate with Mackenzie Rose for the purpose of committing accosting a minor for immoral purpose, where the victim or intended victim, Mackenzie Rose, was believed by the defendant to be a minor. This is also a felony, also a Tier 2 offense under the Sex Offender Registration Act. It is a felony that is punishable by up to 10 years in prison and or $5,000 fine. Reimbursement of expenses and also a consecutive sentence may be imposed for a conviction on the underlying offense. And finally, count 4 alleges that the defendant did at the same venue and on the same date did accost, entice, or solicit an individual he or she believed was a child less than 16 years of age with the intent to induce or force that individual to commit an immoral act, to submit to an act of sexual intercourse or an act of gross indecency or other act of depravity or delinquency, or did encourage the individual to engage in one of these acts. Also a Tier 2 offense under the Sex Offender Registration Act. Take notice pursuant to state law, upon bind over to circuit court, the district court judge shall order the defendant to be tested for venereal disease, hepatitis B infection, and for the presence of HIV or antibody to HIV if the judge determines there's reason to believe the violation involves sexual penetration or exposure to a body fluid of the defendant. It is a felony punishable by up to 4 years in prison and or $4,000 fine. Mr. Alvi, do you understand the charges the court has read to you, as well as the maximum possible penalties?
Yes.
Thank you. To Attorney Faber, are you demanding an exam?
We are, Your Honor, and we will enter a plea of not guilty as to each count.
Thank you. Mr. Alvey, your case is now pending in our court. It has been assigned to our court's chief judge, the Honorable Donald L. Allen Jr. Judge Allen has you scheduled to appear before him for 2 separate court dates. First is a probable cause conference on Tuesday, November 4th at 8:30 in the morning, with a preliminary examination 1 week later on just over a week later on Thursday, November 13th at 9:30 in the morning.
Your Honor, if I may inquire, is the November 4th probable cause conference, is that in person or via Zoom?
Judge Allen, all of his hearings they start out with the presumption that they are in person. You could certainly confer with the assistant prosecuting attorney on the case in advance of that PCC date to see if something otherwise might be able to be worked out. I do believe that this will be a vertical case, and by that I believe that the prosecutor who authorized these charges will be the same throughout, and I believe that is Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Abigail Tepper, Tepper, from the Ingham County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. And of course, you could also contact Judge Allen's staff, his judicial assistant, perhaps as well. But I mean, especially in a felony case, I mean, the presumption is parties are to appear in person.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have to pause just for one moment because normally the preliminary examination date is both the PCC and the exam are on Tuesdays. I want to make sure that this is not a typographical error. It might not be. I just want to confirm that. Could you confirm that the preliminary examination date that we're setting right now is Thursday, November 13th? Okay, that's all I need to know. I know the holiday schedule. I just want to make sure it wasn't typographical. All right, thank you very much. Bye. Okay, so those dates are accurate. Mr. Faber, if you're ready to address bond.
I am, Your Honor. Dr. Alvey is a physician. He's a first-year resident at Sparrow Hospital. He has strong ties to the community. He is invested in his career. He has very strong family support in the courtroom, as you can see. He's got his fiance is present in the courtroom. It's my understanding, and she is a licensed attorney. His aunt and uncle are also present in the courtroom. His aunt is a physician who practiced for 25 years in the city of Lansing. His mother is not present, but I think is en route, and she is a teacher. They very strong family support, ties to the community. He is a legal resident. He is not a flight risk. I know that the allegations in this matter are quite serious. However, I noted on the felony complaint, the named victim in the case is Detective Kelly Bowden, which would seem, from my experience, indicate that there is no actual minor under the age of 16 that was
Your audio
to
has
any
paused,
potential
Mr. Faber.
cause matter.
I'm going to have you to back up and repeat about the last 45 seconds because your audio completely froze.
What was the last thing that you heard, Your Honor? I'm sorry.
That somebody effective, there's not really a victim because it was a detective.
Okay, so yeah, on the complaint, Detective Kelly Bowden is the named victim of the case, which from my experience would indicate that there is no actual minor under 16 that was placed in jeopardy from this incident. The charges are are, again, quite serious, but they are allegations at this point. My client is presumed innocent, and I think as the case is litigated, it is going to be brought forth that this was a misunderstanding, and which led to the police involvement and the charges. I don't know if the court would entertain a PR bond based on the charges. However, if the court does not believe a PR bond is appropriate, I believe a 10% bond is certainly appropriate in this matter, and we would ask for a reasonable bond in the amount of 20 to 50,000. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Does Mr. Alvey have a passport?
He is a
Yes.
permanent resident with a green card, Your Honor, yes.
From Pakistan? Country of origin?
Country of origin is Pakistan.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to start out by going over some of the bond conditions that the court is ordering. Mr. Alvey, if you are released from custody while this matter is pending, you are required to make a phone call to the Ingham County Pretrial Services Agency. That is the agency that supervises any person who has a pending felony charge in Ingham County when they're not in custody. If you are released from custody, you'll be provided their contact brochure. And what's required is that you call them within 2 business days of your release from the jail. They'll be supervising you if you're out of jail. You are not to purchase, possess, or consume any alcohol, illegal drugs, marijuana. You are subject to random drug and alcohol testing. You are not to purchase or possess any dangerous weapons of any kind, especially no firearms, no ammunition. The court is ordering that you are to have absolutely no contact of any kind with any child 16 years of age or younger, unless you are accompanied by an adult 18 years of age or older. Also, a GPS tether for location purposes is also being ordered by the court. Mr. Alvey shall surrender his passport prior to release from custody. With regard to bond itself, as I'm sure you know, Attorney Faber, the court must assess flight risk and public safety concerns. Those are 2 essential analyses that the court must conduct, although the court is also enabled to assess any information it believes is credibly before it as well. I listened very carefully to your comment on Mr. Alvey. It does appear he has no prior criminal history. in very advanced stages of education is also clear. The court takes great pains to not get too much down the road of like factual allegations, what is alleged, because of course, he is presumed to be innocent. All of his constitutional rights are fully intact this afternoon. These are allegations which the court readily concedes. But because you sort of open the door in terms of the alleged victim in the case being a detective, the court would say that I am the judicial officer who heard the swear to in this case. And what also is alleged is that there's credible evidence before the court that your client believed that he was interacting with a 15-year-old and meeting a 15-year-old. The court also has grave flight risk concerns despite family support the court sees many members here this afternoon. We have somebody who is here on a green card or perhaps a visa situation whose home country is not the United States and instead is Pakistan. There are grave concerns that if Mr. Albee were to flee to Pakistan, that this case would come to an abrupt close because the county wouldn't be able, the state of Michigan would not be able to proceed. The court also finds that there is a very high public safety concern here with what is alleged in this case. And the final note before the court imposes bond that I'll make on this record is that I don't do this often. I've been doing my job for quite some time and don't usually speak to the judge of record in advance, but I did in this case. And the judge who is going to be overseeing this case moving forward has agreed with my take on where bond should land. And the bond in this case is going to be a $1 million cash or surety bond. Anything additional, Counselor?
If that is posted, Your Honor, because computer use is essential to his job performance, would it be possible that he have restricted use of a computer for work purposes only?
I have not in any way restricted computer access. What I certainly did order is that there shall be no contact with a minor 16 years of age or younger unless accompanied by an adult 18 years of age or older. Now, if your client is on a computer and it's determined that there's contact with somebody 16 years of age or younger, that is a direct bond violation. I don't think there's much of a dispute about that.
Understood, Your Honor.
Anything additional, Counselor?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Great, thank you very much. Mr. Albee, you are all set with our court. Thank you.